was requested by one of our amazing family members, Polly Rose. So I missed her comment, as she had said in a previous video, asking if I could do a video on dealing with bullying and gossip. And as somebody who has greatly been involved in being bullied and also being the bully, I thought I could do this video and offer perspective and what we can learn from bullies and being bullied. So ultimately this video is going to be me talking a lot. I have my dry erase board here. And thank you, Polly Rose, for requesting this video. So you're going to want to either, if you're going to stay awake to listen, grab a snack, sit back and relax, and we'll get right into it now. So I have my phone, and you're probably wondering about these little guys. Little. I got them at Five and Below a long time ago, and I took my other headphones to the gym, so I'm kind of stuck with these. You guys know my mic is messed up. The cord, I think it is. I can't hear very well, but when I get really close, I can hear like an echo of what I'm sounding like right now, so let's hope that this all goes as planned. You guys know that, excuse me, usually I do all of my videos improv, but sometimes I'll have keynotes, and I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about today regarding bullying and being the bully. I don't know why it's not showing up anymore. That's a lot of stuff. So let's get started. I want to make very clear to you that you are human. Okay, that's the very first thing. Whether you are a bully watching this, have bullied, whether you are being bullied, you are human. Words do hurt, okay? The phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me, is complete bull, okay? Sorry about the mouth sounds. Wearing the retainer, okay? In my experience, I still get hurt, but we can learn to deal with it. And I want you all to know that not everybody is going to like you. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm going to be completely reading, but I really took my time and wrote down some things I want to talk about. Don't think that that takes the emotion away from the video and what I'm trying to depict to you guys, okay? So let's start. What is bullying? Well, this is all my opinion and my, thoughts and what I think bullying is. Bullying is people picking apart your life to hurt you and not help you. Why do people bully? Well, they've been hurt in their life. The dominance effect, in which many of you have heard me speak about in the past, and basically the dominance effect is trying to be the alpha male over you. They'll talk very poorly of you. You know, your best friend could be doing the dominance effect, basically trying to feel superior over you, feel like they have control over you. A lot of bullies do this to the people, obviously, they're hurting. And this probably comes from being hurt themselves. They aren't the alpha male at home. Maybe their parents treat them, very poorly, and that's why they go to school and bully others, or, anywhere else. It's because ultimately they've been, put in the position of being dominated elsewhere. So that is why, with bullying comes the dominance effect at times. Okay. Basically, in my opinion, this means that all bullying comes from insecurity within themselves. People bully because they see something in you that they see in themselves to wish to be or not from the past. So bullies may see something in you that they still see in themselves that they were ashamed of in the past, or bullies may see something in you that they saw or want to see in themselves, creating jealousy, which creates anger and frustration and confusion, in which I'll get to that. And the last part of that is fear. People fear what they don't understand. I speak about this a lot in my other videos. I talk about how the brain, whenever it's confused or it doesn't understand something, it tries its best to, send electrical whatever through the brain to try to connect or grasp onto something that it knows. So, the LGBTQ community knows this probably more than anybody else in the world. Forgive my ignorance, or not ignorance because I understand, but forgive my disrespect using the word queer or faggot, because it's used in a completely derogatory way, and that's bullying. People don't understand why men like men or women like women, so their confusion and asking themselves questions in their head that they can't understand causes grief, in turn causing anger, causing frustration, and causing to lash out on others using the words that they don't understand or, don't try to understand, which in turn causes ignorance. And the longer a person is uneducated and being taught the wrong thing, the more ignorant they become. Now, ignorance is not disrespect. That's why I always say, please forgive my ignorance. Ignorance is truly not understanding something, a subject, or anything like that. So, moving on. This is where we bring out the whiteboard. Gotta make it somehow like ASMR-ish. So, I've made 3 categories, 3 to 4 categories, and what makes sense to me. Oh, my arm. Sorry about that. And I'm going to start it off. I was going to put bullying as the main category, but we're actually going to be using the word gossip as the main category here, okay? And I do know somebody from Guru Gossip will ultimately be watching this, and please stick around because I don't have anything negative to say. I actually want to speak about that website very soon because, as many of you know, I'm on that website. But that's okay because we'll get to that. So stick around. I know that my videos sometimes can be boring to those trying to get information to speak about, but we're trying to help people today. So, okay. Gossiping. There's 3 subcategories with gossiping: bullying, opinions, and criticism. And obviously with criticism, there's constructive criticism and just blatant, hatred, but we'll get into that. I'm not going that deep. It's not that deep. Alright, so let's talk about this. Criticism and opinions. People pick apart your life to help you, to stay neutral or agree to disagree. That is what criticism is. Constructive criticism, ultimately to help you to, move forward, to benefit you, to want to see you succeed, to want to see you change for, your family or somebody else. Opinions are basically the same thing, I have an example of that down below. I'll get to that, but an opinion can either be a positive opinion or a negative opinion, which usually follows or falls within the bullying category. I'll use that example now, okay? So, I want you guys to tell me, obviously, which is a positive opinion, or which is a negative opinion that could be potentially considered as bullying, okay? So, fantasy writing at the end. Which one do you think would be considered rude or disrespectful, or in the category of bullying? Ellen looks terrible today. Her hair smells bad. It's messy, and she's wearing the same shirt as yesterday. Ellen looks bad today. Her hair seems unbrushed, and there is a faint smell to it. I'm concerned. I don't know. But what would you consider to be negative or bullying? You know, it could be either or, because, you know, you're still saying something that is potentially hurtful to the person that is being spoken about. That is what gossip is. Whether or not you mean to, you know, be hateful, it's still in the category of gossip. They are still talking about you, or you are still talking about them. So technically, in my opinion, the one that would be considered bullying is this one. Even though the person seems to be offering their perspective to another person, they don't speak about being concerned, or they don't say afterwards what maybe would look better on her. And that's just her opinion, would be her opinion. So this would probably be in the category of criticism or bullying. And that is where perspective comes in. Unfortunately, you know, bullying is viewed differently by everybody, so I want to point that out, that there is no right or wrong, you know, in a phrase like this. I mean, it's rude in my opinion, it's disrespectful, it's not meant to help you. Ellen looks bad today. Her hair seems unbrushed, and there is a faint smell to it. I'm concerned. So after that, you know, the person speaking about Ellen or whatever, obviously, you know, is offering her opinion and her perspective, and she wants to help. Although she's criticizing, I would not put this in the category of bullying, but it still is gossip. Gossip is basically talking about basically talking about anybody without, you know, wanting to help in a positive light, I guess. I don't know. Talking about anybody's gossip. Everybody gossips. I want to get that through. Everybody said that if you're talking about what happened on CNN today and the lasers they're making to use in the fires of California. No, but it's ultimately we all gossip, whether it be about a person or pets, you know, going to the bathroom, whatever. And my heart goes out to the people in the California fires. I just seen a video on Facebook yesterday. I was like, oh my god, we're not getting into conspiracies today. I'm just really praying everybody is safe. So moving on. So again, there's 3 categories in my opinion. And, you know, gossiping. I'll write that down one more time. Gossip. Bullying. Opinion. Criticism. So, now, don't worry, at the end of this video, I will offer, you know, my advice on what you can do to stop it and everything else. So let's move on. Again, criticisms and opinions. People pick apart your life to help you, either help you. Criticism, for example, that woman is concerned about Ellen, you know, smelling bad or whatever. That's criticizing, but it's positive criticism in my opinion, because she wants to help Ellen. She's concerned, you know, whatever. Stay neutral. Somebody just may offer their opinion or criticism, for example. I don't like, Sarasota today. Moving on, very neutral about the situation, doesn't really have any input or positive input. It doesn't affect their lives, it doesn't affect the person's life who's being hurt, aka, me. If somebody said that, it doesn't matter. This is not bullying, in my opinion. Sometimes words may hurt, but their intention is ultimately to discuss things that they find off or questionable and figure out positive ways to help or end it. Opinion is just how a person feels, to be raw and to be real and not sugar-coated. They also consider this tough love. I'll explain that in a bit. They may not like you, but their intention is not to bully you. It is to offer perspective. So again, I want you to understand that not everybody is going to like you, okay? Neutral, just like I said. Again, just speaking. No sugarcoating. No sugarcoating. Offering opinion with no desire to change or worry about you or the situation. It's kind of like passing through a conversation at work in the break room, talking about RuPaul's Drag Race. I didn't like her hair or her edges. Oh girl, me too. And then just walk away. It's neutral. It doesn't mean anything. No, intention on making or breaking. Agreeing to disagree. That is something I do very often, and I, in my opinion, would like it if other people would do the same. Although they may not agree with what you do or say, their intention is not to hurt you. They just disagree and move on. In my opinion, this is something you should do. Sometimes we may not agree about the actions of others, but is what they're doing really hurting somebody? For example, in my opinion, allegedly, my conspiracy, furries, the furry community. At first, I was like, what in God's name is this? But then, I don't know, I kind of like it. Are they hurting anybody? No, they're not. They go do their furry conventions. Oh my god, you guys, have you ever seen that video? It's the rave. It's by like Freely Raving or something, and they're all just it's like a furry rave and they're all in there. And the guy who's running the rave is like, alright, people are throwing glow sticks. But anyway, back to the thing. If you guys have seen that, please let me know. So anyway, sometimes we can just agree to disagree. There's no reason we should be bullying a community who is enjoying themselves and not, ruining society or putting a damper on anybody's mood. They're loving what they're doing, and that's why the furry community, in my opinion, is something that we could agree to disagree on. I mean, that's just my opinion. They're just having fun. They're kids who need to feel accepted, and ultimately, that is what every person in the world wants. We just want to feel loved. We want to feel accepted. And again, bullying and bullies don't do this because their way of releasing anger and grief is to hurt other people, but in reality, they were the ones who were hurt the most, and I'll get into that afterward. So, the reason that bullying causes hurt, which causes anger, which causes it to spread, okay? So, let's do a little diagram here. And there's actually a Facebook video I'm going to talk about. Just use its example. If I can find the link, I'll put it down below. I'm not really good at that, but if you guys could remind me. Alright, so when somebody is mean to somebody, okay, so this happens whenever we bully others or take our anger out on others. Okay, so this probably wouldn't happen, but this is a perfect example. So, bullying and anger. Oh god, I just wiped off half of it, but that's okay, we're just gonna go with it. When a person bullies another person or takes their anger out on other people, this has to do with frustration and anger, remember that. It can lead to some pretty nasty things. So there's a Facebook video online that depicts how anger spreads to one person to another. So let's say daddy comes home from work and he's mad that he didn't get the promotion. I'm thinking of the room. So he goes to the mom and he snaps out on her. So then she gets hurt because, you know, she didn't deserve that. She spent her whole day washing clothes and cooking. So then she takes her anger out on the child. There's the little kid right there. He's kind of small. She still has her both that small. And she's mad. And so she takes it out on the kid. So then the kid gets confused and he gets hurt, you know, which makes him angry. So he goes and takes it out on the dog because there's nobody else to take his frustration and anger out. So ultimately then the dog's like really hurt. So it goes and takes its anger out on the baby. And then it gets sent to the pound because it bit the baby, and, you know, dogs usually don't bite babies unless they've been abused. And then the doggy goes to the pound, and he can't get adopted out because, you know, he's hurt, and he bites people because he doesn't want to trust or love again because for absolutely no reason at all he had the child take its hurt and, you know, anger out on him. So it's just an example of how anger spreads. Please don't think this is going to happen in your family, okay? Alright. But that's sad, you know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't happen. And that's how anger can really affect you. It can really spread. It can, you know, it's cause and effect. It's constantly going from one person to the next. And if we can just learn to control that, if bullies could just learn to stop treating other people so poorly because they've been hurt, and start learning to find somebody to talk to, you know what? As somebody who's been bullied all their life, and I've been the bully, don't get me wrong, I'm not playing pity here, I still forgive people no matter what. In fact, my mother-in-law is probably the person who I'm having the most trouble with lately, but I still forgive her, and I still want to forgive her, and I still want to find out why she treats me the way that she does, and the way that I lash back out, and we'll get to that in the future. But I hope this offered some perspective of how anger, you know, can spread and how it can cause a situation in the family that could potentially be very sad. And all of the people who have been affected by the anger and the confusion, their brain immediately tries to find something to latch onto, to which they understand, to which in the future they relate that with anger. They'll always relate that memory with frustration and anger, and then they go on to have kids, and they go on to have the same situations that happened when they were younger. Haven't you ever heard that you act a lot like your mother or your father? Kids are sponges, and the way we treat others, those kids see that. And another thing, that's where the dominance effect comes in. Children who are, you know, not feeling secure at home, children who feel like they're constantly being dominated and yelled at by their parents, you know, go to school and bully others. That's definitely one of the reasons. Not saying that's the main one, though. Moving on. Sorry, I keep moving my glasses. This is really not comfortable. So, I'm going to go over some examples and stories of which I had with bullying, and then I'm going to go over some examples and stories of which I've been the bully. Don't worry, it won't take long. But the earliest example of bullying I can remember is by my teacher, Miss Allison, in 4th grade. This wasn't criticism, it was an opinion. She would straight up drag me by my arm and by my hair down the hallways. It was a different time back then, so the authorities never really got involved. I mean, they were called, but nothing really happened. In fact, I went through it the whole year without anything happening, but I heard that she doesn't work there anymore. I'm not sure why, but let's hope it was because she was fired. Anyway, that was my earliest time I remember being bullied, was by my teacher first. I went to elementary school in 3rd grade. I'd gone to a previous elementary school, but whenever we moved, we went to like the popular school around my area. It's Richland Township, that's where I went in Pennsylvania. But anyway, Richland High School, and it was Richland Elementary, and in 3rd grade I had an incredible teacher, Miss Mish. She was nice, I had a great time being, a child then. But once I got to 4th grade, the bullying hit, and it hit bad. The kids would watch the teacher bully me, and when I say that, I mean dump my stuff out all over the floor. And back then I never did anything wrong to deserve that, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was doing something wrong. I remember we would make these reindeer with hangers. You make the hanger, it was a wire hanger, and you push it and it kind of forms a diamond, and it was during Christmas time. And you wrap like spandex over it, and you cut out felt for the antlers, and with the nose. And I remember drawing on the mouth with the Sharpie, and I messed up, and she came over and she straight up messed the whole thing up with the Sharpie, and then pulled my desk to the back again and dumped it out on the floor. So the kids, there was only a few classes. You grow up with that same class even if you're going to different parts until high school. So they saw her bullying me, and that's when I became the bully, or that's when I became the person getting bullied in school by everybody else. And like I said, children are sponges. They saw that, and then they proceeded to do the same thing throughout the years. In school, I never did anything wrong to deserve that. I was just myself, and people didn't like that. I did have friends, don't get me wrong, but, I was still bullied, so it happens. I was bullied by my brother, but again, siblings can bully others because they feel, like they weren't important enough in the home. Whenever I was younger, my brother bullied me a lot, and I know that is because my parents put him under pressure to be better in life. I'm not saying he's not smart, he's intelligent, but he didn't do well, and my parents didn't want to see him fail. He was bullied in school, so then he would come home and take it out on me. The dominance effect. Anyway, at one point my mother was a bully to me, and I was a bully to her, but now when she has something she has to say to me that she doesn't agree with, she offers me the tough love. She doesn't sugarcoat anything, and she offers constructive criticism to help me. And sometimes I don't want to hear it, but I know she means well. You know what I mean? The biggest times I've been bullied in my life that I think have really affected me were my stalker. And you guys know the story on him. He said things about my father being passed away, and it's just very, very hurtful, to the point where it's broken me down into nothingness. Those animal activist groups that I explained about calling me and considering me a dog flipper at one point with absolutely no proof. Nothing. They all just kind of grouped together, and I'll get into that in a bit, of why so many people group together to come after you. Is it actually because you are having problematic behavior? We have to understand that sorry. Okay, sorry, I was reading an email. I don't know why this stupid thing. But anyway, that's what you have to understand about perspective is, are they actually bullying you because for no reason, or are you having problematic behavior that they're angry about, and the only way they know how to respond is to put you down about it? Are they offering constructive criticism? Are they helping you? That is how we need to sit and try to understand what the differences between all of this is, because there are people out there who do feel very attacked and hurt, when in reality these people aren't trying to bully them, they're just trying to help them. Perfect example, a YouTuber named Truthfully Trisha. I do not agree with her. There have been rumors that she bullied those groups that I dealt with, I still believe to this day I was being bullied and I was being attacked. If you guys want to watch, why, I'll try to link it down below. I have, information on why that happened. And the last but not least where I felt bullied and attacked was the gossiping website Guru Gossip. So, this one is the hardest to put in a category, in my opinion, at this point, because throughout that entire website, a forum about me, there was like 33 pages, and it said very, very, very hateful things. A lot of it did. Then there were other comments on there that were just offering perspective. There were other comments on there that were just offering criticism. And then there were other comments on there that were just neutral, passing through, agreeing or disagreeing, and heading out. But then you have the bullying. You have the people that literally talk so much about you to the point where they go after your looks because they have nothing else to grasp onto. They don't offer their perspective. They don't offer their opinion. They completely just go after your throat to say hurtful things. And that is why I talked about them speaking about my children. Some people were on there offering their perspective. They weren't ultimately trying to hurt me. They were just questioning my past and the things that I've done. And then there were people just overall bullying. They were hateful, saying really evil things. And yeah, and that's why I basically grouped this into gossiping, because there's different, in my opinion, categories. So moving on. The most hurt that I felt was by my mother-in-law. I don't know why she hates me so much. In fact, she was a person on that website, and she recently admitted to me through text message that she was the screen name that the family thought that she was speaking about us and about myself, my channel, everybody else. And that makes me feel bullied. That makes me feel attacked. She wasn't offering perspective, and that makes me wonder why people have such an obsession with other people. Have I hurt them in some way enough to where they feel, like they don't belong or anything like that? So anyway, when you feel bullied, your first feeling is grief. You ask yourself why. There's confusion and then anger. But after that, so long, you either become a bully or you learn to accept it. You take that anger out on somebody else, or you can learn to accept it. This is my hardest issue with that Guru Gossip website, but I'm learning to deal with it. I've just learned to accept it. Some people can just learn to accept to take the criticism or to take the bullying. Nobody in the world should be subjected to hatred and bullying. Nobody. Sometimes you just need to learn to deal with it. 1 second. Again, it's about perspective. If it's one person, we learn to tolerate it, but when a whole group comes together, like I mentioned earlier, could there really be some reason that they're doing this to us? Are we really doing something wrong? And that's where you have to look inside yourself and ask yourself the question that these people are asking each other about you. For example, my animal abuse allegations that I had back when they were saying I was a dog. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I will put a warning for this at 36:50. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. My god. I'm so sorry. Could there be something wrong with us? Again, the animal abuse allegations. I asked myself, am I doing something wrong? And I was. Was that snoring? I don't know what that was. I was, a person who had a pet, and whenever I didn't like the puppy, after a long time, a month or two, which actually isn't a long time at all, I got rid right? Because obviously animals have emotions too. And then you learn to accept what you did wrong, and you apologize for it, and you learn why you did the things you did. And whenever these people see that, they either stop their opinions and criticisms, or they continue, and then you learn that that's actual bullying. And that's why you need to ask yourself the question, when somebody is talking about you, why are they saying these things? Is this true? I want to point out that when somebody calls somebody ugly, there is blatant, obvious bullying type, you know what I mean? Like, there is obvious points of bullying that people can see. You don't just go out and say she's ugly or she's disgusting. That's not anything. That's just pure hate. You know what I mean? That's unnecessary. That's not to help. It's not even to be neutral. It's just to be disrespectful. Examples of when I have been the bully. I am allowed to use his name. I've spoken to him in the past. Zachary Penrose. He went to my school, and when he first came there, for some reason, the entire world just jumped on him, man. They did not like this poor kid. And me had been being bullied over the years. I was like, this is my chance. This is my chance to fit in with others. And I remember on the bus being extremely wrongly and hateful, and I bullied him, and I'd pull his headphones back where the cord would go up around his neck, and everybody would cheer me on the bus. But then, on the days where Zachary wasn't on the bus, I became, again, the person being bullied. I did it because I wanted to fit in with others, and that was wrong. That caused probably a lot of, emotional damage to the kid, and I know it didn't. I mean, we spoke. It hurt him, but, he's intelligent enough to understand now that I only did it to fit in, and that's not right. You don't do that. Another person I went to school with was named Brian. Everybody made fun of him too, and during class, whenever he was there, he didn't come to school because of how bad he was being bullied. That's how bad it was. But on days he was there, everybody who bullied me looked at me to bully Brian. But then when he wasn't there, I again became the person being bullied. That's nothing but hatred. Again, the dominance effect. This happened early school. That's why you see children being put in these positions who are very hateful to others. It's sad and it's wrong. I was also bullied by a girl I went to the methadone clinic with, and I ended up getting a harassment charge because I retaliated on the internet against her on my Facebook. Her name was Lindsay. I don't need to say her last name because I'm not saying who I'm talking about, but we both went after each other's throats, man. We did not like one another, and we still don't. Well, she doesn't like me, and she has every right not to. After so much of her hatred towards me, and after so much of my hatred towards her, we kind of went back and forth to one another. Like, I would go after her looks, she would go after my parenting, and it was just truly all to hurt. And that's in my opinion considered bullying. We both bullied each other. She had gotten in trouble one time over it, and then I got in trouble one time recently over it from last year, posting things on the internet. That's wrong, and that's not how you express how you're feeling. There are different ways to filter your anger. Put it in different outlets. Don't take it out on other people. There's no need. So what, finally, can we do to deal with bullies? Okay. Again, everyone deals with these things differently. Excuse me. It's about perspective. It's about how we put things in their perspective. So, gossiping, again, is basically the main subject, if you will. The three categories: bullying, opinion, and criticism. One example is Kid Danger. I watched this last night, actually, and it was about a bigger girl, and she came to school with Charlotte. She's one of the friends of, like, Kid Danger and the crew or whatever, and I guess, I don't remember what happened. to her. And whenever the big girl comes in, she asks, she says, "Who hurt you? Who hurt you?" And the girl gets really mad and offensive, and she's like, "Nobody hurt me." And then she finally opens up and lets go, and they become friends. And Charlotte forgives her for the things that she had said and threatened to do to her. That is one way we can deal with it. Now, I'm going to be honest, at one point I did this. I tried to say, "Who hurt you? Who bullied me?" And it just didn't end well. They ended up, being worse. But sometimes all it takes is to offer the person who hurt you your love and forgiveness and care. That's all it takes sometimes. Don't absorb their energy. It's a tale as old as time. The rubber and glue, I'm rubber, you're glue, what you say to me, blah, blah, blah. Never let it bounce back to you. Just never let what somebody says try to affect you. And that is where some of, you have to work on this too. I don't want anybody to feel victimized. When we feel victimized, we close in, we shut down, we feel like everybody's attacking us, but we really need to wake up and, accept our flaws and start asking ourselves why this is happening and what we can do to stop it. And that is where acceptance, love, and forgiveness comes in. But anyway, so let's really sit here and talk about this. What can we do about bullying? For the demographic of younger people who watch my channel, some of this is in your school that's happening. It starts out so early. You need to ask yourself again, is it bullying or is it criticizing? Was it to be hateful? Is this person a stranger? Can it benefit me? Are they right? I'm not talking about being called ugly again either. Remember, that's just straight up garbage. Yeah. If something is off, and if you've truly asked yourself how you feel about what was being said, why it was being said, and how it was being said, and if you feel that it truly was nothing but complete negativity and bullying, it's time to take action. For somebody in the younger crowd, when you have nobody else to turn to, if you don't feel like you can trust a teacher, if you don't feel like you can trust anybody, you need to learn to trust yourself, but ultimately you need to tell somebody if somebody is bullying you. You need to go to the authorities. You need to call a teacher. You need to tell somebody. It needs to stop if it's not stopping, but if you are doing everything that you possibly can in a situation like this, And whenever I say accept certain things, I don't mean accept bullying. Don't ever feel like you have to accept to be bullied. Nobody should accept that. I'm talking about accepting yourself for who you are, accepting that this is happening and you're going to change it. Accept and understand who you are. Again, perspective. For the older crowd and everybody, I guess this relates to, if this is on the internet, if it's all negative and you just don't agree, there's always a certain thing called report and block. Now, I'm not the type of person to say, if it's not there, that means it's not happening. I'm the type of person who's, wanting to see the things that are happening. And again, it was only recently until I stopped going on that Guru Gossip website because I just couldn't take it anymore. I would sit there and analyze every single little thing everybody would say, whether it was just opinion or hate or bullying, and I let it affect me. And I still get those comments on my channel. We need to accept and forgive. Forgiveness is a big thing, and it makes us feel free. And I know sometimes it will be hard for another person to forgive somebody. There is a video online of a man whose son was killed, murdered by a guy in court, and the guy gets up and hugs the man who took part in murdering his son. And it was beautiful. And it helped him feel free, and it made the guy who participated in it feel free. Forgiveness is a big thing we can all learn from, and it truly just makes everything feel calmer. Know that there truly is no way to 100% stop all the bullying in the world as much as we want to. so we can accept this and move on. Know that life is too short to be pissed off all the time. It's a very famous quote from the movie American History X. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time. For those of you who have watched my channel for a long time, you guys remember Zoe. Recently, Zoe came down with pneumonia so bad that they had to sedate her, and it was only up until 2 days ago that they took the breathing tube out. She was on life support. They were putting in a trach. They were going to take out part of her left lung, and I have permission to talk about this. She almost died. Her left lung was filling up with so much blood and fluid. She almost drowned in her own fluid. That happens to people with pneumonia. She didn't, and she came through it. Life is too short to be pissed off all the time, because you can have your life ripped away at any moment, just like she had hers, almost. She just woke up 2 days ago and had no idea what day it was. We are wasting each passing moment worrying about what these people say about us, when they are just as insecure as you're feeling. So the person who's bullying you, I promise you, has some type of insecurity within themselves. The same way that you're feeling right now, the person who's being bullied. It's completely okay to experience these feelings, because everybody gets hurt. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with feeling hurt. It's just how we learn to deal with it and accept it and forgive and move on. To tell somebody, forgive them. Know that all bullying is a form of insecurity, like I just said. That's where the quote, "they're just jealous," comes from. Whether they truly are jealous of you or not, remember that kid danger thing and show them that they're human too. Show them, make it aware that you know that they have been hurt at one point, and you forgive what they say about you. This will either probably anger them, humiliate them because you figured them out, or just cause more bullying. But ultimately, they now know that it doesn't affect that, or doesn't affect you. What they say about you, again, means nothing to you, and you need to forgive them and hope someday they find the happiness in their hearts so they can stop wasting their time and talking about you. You know when somebody's a bully when they're taking time out of their day to come and put you down. Now, this doesn't include just overall criticism and opinion and discussion. This has to do with pure hate. This has to do with obsession. This has to do with people who have constantly, over years and years, picked apart your life and put you down to the point it's making you feel worthless. You know, anybody can accept some criticism or opinion, and if you can't, and again, if you're not doing the things wrong that you feel are wrong, then it's probably bullying. Learn to love yourself. Don't play insecure and don't play the victim. Even though you may be, bullying is not a good feeling. Being talked about in general is not a good feeling, but you need to know your worth. You can't love anyone else until you love yourself. Remember, when you're feeling victimized, you're feeling attacked, and even your loved ones that you trust, you start not trusting them. That is why you need to reach deep down, obviously, as cheesy as it is, and love yourself, feel yourself, and show yourself that you are important, that you are worth it. The bully who's bullying you is worth it, and they need to find that out about themselves. If it gets too much, try naming 5 things you love about yourself. It's kind of like when you have an anxiety attack. If you can't in the time you're getting bullied in that moment when you go to school, get yourself in the present before you make a stupid decision. Your subconscious is constantly racing, and during moments of pressure from bullying, you become confused. Have you ever been in a situation where someone is being hateful? Your heart starts racing and you're freaking out. You don't remember what you said during that, fight or argument. That's because your anger relates to the fear that causes panic, and it's the fight or flight mode. Your brain is trying to attach itself, remember that, to what, ever it can find to relate to. Regardless, just ground yourself. My best way to get yourself into the present is ask, where is your tongue in your mouth? it just kind of throws everything off and the answers in the question, you know? Just name the 5 things you can smell, hear, taste, and touch. And that is all for that. To sum everything up, just remember, when you are being bullied, when somebody is not talking positively of you and has no intention to help you, when they're just, you know, only intention is to hurt you and make you feel worthless, it's bullying, and it's not a comfortable feeling. When all of that is going on, you need to center yourself and make yourself present. You need to understand that there is a reason why this is happening. They feel insecure and they don't feel dominant. There's something inside you they fear, or that they see in themselves that they don't want to see, or they wish they had. It's all about perspective, my family. And I want you to know that when you love yourself, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to fear. We need to start learning to take care of ourselves and love ourselves. We need to take a moment and just realize that we're alive, our hearts are beating, and we experience the same emotions, you know, whether we are the bully or we're getting bullied or talked about. We need to offer forgiveness, we need to offer acceptance and learn to love these people and accept them as our own. Treat everybody the way that you would like to be treated. It's the most simplest golden rule in the world. It's like it's instilled in us, but sometimes we just don't follow that. As somebody who has been a bully and somebody who has been bullied, forgiveness is key. Acceptance is key, in my opinion. No matter what, we will still not be able to impress everybody in the world, so we need to stop worrying about impressing everybody else and start worrying about impressing ourselves, finding out what is hurting ourselves and change that. There's no reason to feel attacked. When we have nothing to hide, you know. We are so important, and if we could just come together and stop being pieces of crap and treat each other pretty well, the world would be a much better place. And unfortunately, we know that at this time that may not happen, and there's always going to be chaos and there's always going to be problems, so might as well just love, be present, and enjoy our times. Remember who you are, and remember the only opinion that affects yourself, or that affects you, is what you think about yourself and what you can do to change that. What are you going to do to change that? I love you guys, and I'll talk to you